Hi, can I ask you a question today? How do you overcome your fears? What scares you the most? What actually brings that fearful thoughts into your mind? Learning how to overcome fear, especially fears of failure, can be challenging for everyone. Fortunately, all fears are learned fears. No one is born with fears. Fear can therefore be unlearned by practicing self-discipline repeatedly with regard to fear until it goes away. The most common fears that we experience, which often sabotage all hope for success, are the fear of failure, the fear of poverty, and the fear of loss of money. These fears, they cause people to avoid risk of any kind and to reject the opportunities when it is presented to them. They are so afraid of failure that they are almost paralyzed when it comes to taking any chances at all. There are many other fears that interfere with our happiness. Number one, the fear of loss of love. People fear the loss of love. People fear the loss of their jobs and their financial security. People fear the embarrassments and the situations that cause these embarrassments. People fear rejection. People fear criticism of any kind. People fear the loss of respect or esteem of others. These are many other fears that hold us back throughout life. Here I'm going to share a few techniques to help you overcome your fears and fuel your success in life. Number one, always remember, fear paralyzes action. The most common reaction in a fear situation is the attitude of I cannot do it, I can't. This is the fear of failure that stops us from taking action. It is experienced physically, starting in the pit of your stomach. Remember, when people are really afraid, their mouth and their throat go dry, their heart starts pounding, and sometimes they start breathing shallowly and the stomach begins churning. Now, these are all physical manifestations of the inhibitive, negative habit pattern which we all experience from time to time. Fear also shuts our brains down. Whenever a person is in the grip of fear, he feels like a deer caught in the headlights of a car. This fear paralyzes action. It often shuts down the brain and causes the individual to revert to the fight or flight reaction. Fear is a terrible emotion that undermines our happiness and can hold us back throughout our lives, not just for a specific period, not just for a short term, but all throughout our lives. It can just keep holding us back. I want you to visualize yourself as unafraid. By visualizing yourself performing with confidence and competence in an area where you are fearful, your visual image will eventually be accepted by your subconscious mind as instructions for your performance. Your self-image, remember, your self-image, the way you see yourself and the way you think about yourself is eventually altered by feeding your mind these positive mental pictures of yourself performing at your best. Practice acting as if. By using the act as if method, you begin to walk, you begin to talk, and you begin to carry yourself exactly as you would if you were completely unafraid in a particular situation. You can stand up straight, smile, move quickly and confidently, and in every respect act as if you already had the courage that you desire. I want you to know you must use the law of reversibility. The law of reversibility says that if you feel a certain way, you will act in a manner consistent with that feeling. But if you act in a manner consistent with that feeling, even if you don't feel it, the law of reversibility will create the feeling that is consistent with your actions. This is one of the greatest breakthroughs in success psychology. You develop the courage you desire by disciplining yourself repeatedly to do the thing you fear until that fear eventually disappears. And I promise you, it will. I need you to confront your fears immediately. Your ability to confront, deal with, and act in spite of your fears is the key to happiness and success. One of the best exercises you can practice is to identify a person or situation in your life of which you are afraid and resolve to deal with that fear situation immediately now. Do not allow it to make you unhappy for another minute. Resolve to confront the situation or the person and put that fear behind you. Move towards the fear. When you identify a fear and discipline yourself to move toward it, it grows smaller and more manageable. What's more, as your fears grow smaller, your confidence grows bigger. Soon, your fears begin to lose their control over you. In contrast, when you back away from a fear-inducing situation or person, your fear grows larger and larger. Soon it dominates your thinking and feeling. It preoccupies you during the day and often keeps you awake at night. Deal with the fear directly. The only way you can deal with a fear is to address it head on, bang on. Remind yourself, denial is not a river in Egypt. Remind yourself again that denial is not a river in Egypt. The natural tendency of many people is to deny that they have a problem caused by fear of some kind. They are afraid of confronting it. In turn, it becomes a major source of stress for them. It becomes a major source of unhappiness. It becomes a major source of psychosomatic illness. By willing to deal with the situation or person directly, as Shakespeare said, take arms against a sea of troubles, and in doing so, you will end them. When you force yourself to face any fear-inducing situation in your life, your self-esteem goes up, your self-respect increases, and your sense of personal pride grows. You eventually reach the point in life when you are not afraid of anything.